Well, the last few weeks of the NFL season, we got to see some teams just go, absolutely nuts in terms of the Arizona Cardinals dropping to the Detroit Lions, and of course, also the Chargers this week falling to the Houston Texans. Those bottom ranked teams are not giving up yet, even though they're basically out of everything this season, and that keeps the NFL fun. One of the great reasons to watch. But I need to get back to making some predictions on this YouTube channel, just because we've had some winter break, but here we go. Let's talk about Week 17 and who I think is going to win. So first game to talk about on Sunday. All the games are on Sunday, except for Monday night. We got Cleveland at Pittsburgh. That's the one game that's not on Sunday this week. The New York Giants are playing at the Chicago Bears. I'm going to take the Bears in this one. The Giants have been playing just about as horribly as anyone possibly can in the entire NFL, and I'm really not interested in them. Also, the Bears were able to go to Seattle last week and win, even though Seattle's not a great team. I was really impressed with the fact that the Bears were able to do that at the end of that game there, so that was an impressive win for them, even though both these teams are really out of it at this point. Jacksonville's headed up to New England. This is a game where they really should be completely outmatched. New England should handle this team pretty easily, and really I wouldn't be surprised to see New England really do some simple stuff and just, be just completely out-coach the Jacksonville Jaguars, especially with the fact that they don't have their head coach anymore. So with that being said, I think New England should be able to take this one, but with what's happened the last 2 weeks, who really knows, but I feel pretty confident about that one. The Rams head to Baltimore this weekend to play, and the thing here is just that I still don't really know what's up with Baltimore's quarterback situation. Honestly, Tyler Huntley or Lamar Jackson healthy gives these guys a chance, but I'm not sure that either of them are going to play. If Lamar plays, if we get a healthy Tyler Huntley, that could give Baltimore a chance in this game. But I'm pretty sure that we're either going to have a very low-level, not healthy Lamar Jackson starting for this team, or it'll be Josh Johnson again. So I definitely am favoring the Rams in that one, and I'll take the Rams. Tampa Bay going to play the New York Jets. This is just like Jacksonville and New England. These teams are completely outmatched, but hey, everything's always up in the air. But yep, we actually got two of these in a row. I'm taking Tampa Bay in that one. Then Atlanta at Buffalo, another one where it just seems like teams should be completely outmatched. Cordell Patterson. That's the chance the Falcons always have, and he's going to play Sunday, so exciting, but I'm taking Buffalo there. Now, really, if I could say that there's a game of the week, I would say it's this one. Kansas City is playing at Cincinnati on Sunday, and it's sitting in the 1 p.m. window. I'm not sure why. I think that would be a great option for the night game, but the NFL doesn't seem to want to go with it. But just because, as a Bills fan, seeing how this is going to be, I'm really excited to see how that game plays out. But I'm taking Kansas City, and I'm going to lock Kansas City this week, just because even if my lock is incorrect and Cincinnati pulls this one off, I really won't be upset, because that means that the Bills actually have a chance to climb the leaderboard in the AFC playoff picture. Then next, we've got Miami at Tennessee. Tennessee's favored in this one, but just for the case of I really like Tennessee. I feel like this game, this is a game I'm really having trouble getting a read on. I don't know who I'd love in it, but I think it's a lot more interesting if Miami is able to come out with a win. And Miami's obviously been on a tear recently in terms of how many games they've won in a row. I don't know if they've played competition quite as good as Tennessee in anywhere in these recent weeks, but here's their opportunity, and I'll take Miami in this one because I think the NFL's more interesting if they win, so that's an upset. Las Vegas Raiders head to the Indianapolis Colts. Man, the Raiders just still don't feel like they're finding the right groove. They just still feel like they're all over the place. Meanwhile, the Colts feel like they've really hit their stride, so I'm going to take the Colts in that one. Philadelphia at Washington. We saw this one a few weeks ago. Philadelphia just feels like they have stuff together, even though their roster isn't great. While Washington, the disaster on Sunday Night Football that we saw last week. I don't know how many teams you would see going up against Washington where you would want to pick Washington, so I'll go Philadelphia. Then we get to the 4 o'clock window. Denver plays at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers, almost 8-point favorites. I'm kind of surprised the spread is that large. The quarterback play for the Broncos has just not nearly been competent enough for me to think that they could keep up with the Chargers. If the Chargers only get held to the amount of points they had last week, like they did against the Texans, then they could have a chance. But I doubt that's going to be the case. So I'm going to go with the Chargers here. Houston plays at San Francisco. Sorry, Houston. I don't think you're going to go back-to-back weeks beating good teams. It's definitely going to make it hard for the Niners to overlook you, maybe like the Chargers did, just because I really still don't think your roster is as good as a team like the Chargers, and they must have just been like looking forward to the playoffs or something. So I don't think San Fran's going to be able to do that, seeing that you just beat a good Chargers team and San Francisco's the home team. I'm taking San Francisco here. Detroit at Seattle. Seattle's fairly big favorites, but in terms of having Dan Campbell in a game, it's always fun to pick his team, and Seattle just lost to Chicago at home, so I don't even know how much confidence I can say I have in Seattle at this point, and I don't even know if Pete Carroll's going to be around at the end of the season, because he's been there for a while, but obviously not with what's been happening recently hasn't been too impressive, so I wouldn't be too excited to see just what exactly they're playing with him is in this offseason. It may be time to move on with his age and stuff, because I don't know if he's going to be looking to stick around for any sort of rebuild, even though it seems like with the talent on that roster they should be ready. But for that reason, I'm going to pick Detroit, because if they can lose to Chicago, I see no reason they can't lose to Detroit, and an exciting team. An exciting young team, I should say. Arizona at Dallas. This is the second game that I also could say is pretty close to the game of the week. I just like Kansas City and Cincinnati a little bit better, because I just feel like the teams have been hitting an upstride, both of them at this point in the season, whereas Arizona, on the other hand, Arizona and Dallas are sitting at about the same record, but Arizona's kind of trending the wrong way. Dallas is looking good, obviously, last week. Putting up 56 is never a bad thing. Dallas is favored in this. Dallas is the home team. I would expect Dallas to win this game, and I'm picking Dallas for that reason. Carolina at New Orleans. I got to say, this one, it's two teams that are out of it. Most games have at least one team that still have some playoff implications looking. This one obviously doesn't. Carolina and New Orleans are seemingly both out of it. Maybe if you look at the 7th seed in the NFC, New Orleans could somehow sneak in still, but it feels like after the loss to Miami last week, they were pretty much kind of done for the year. I could be wrong. Maybe Saints fans will disagree with me on that, but I'm not really liking what's going on there. And I need one more upset since the Saints are favorited in this game. I'll take Carolina. I have not liked what I've seen from Carolina recently, but I also have not liked what I've seen from New Orleans recently. So one of these teams realistically should have to win the game as long as we don't see a tie. I'll go with Carolina and an upset here. Then Minnesota at Green Bay. Kirk Cousins is not playing. That's going to be nearly impossible for Minnesota to go to Green Bay and win without their starting quarterback. I think, if I remember correctly, I saw it's Sean Mannion. That's a tough look for them. I don't love that one too much. So I'll stick with Green Bay. And then last game of the week, Monday Night Football. Cleveland Browns head to the Pittsburgh Steelers. All the AFC North teams really interested in that division. Is going to be crazy to see how it ends. But I've liked Cleveland more since the beginning of the year than Pittsburgh, and I think I got to stick by my guns. I think at this point in the season, they should. I think they're healthy enough that they should be able to go into Pittsburgh and win, and I think they just get Baker to play a little less aggressive, realizing that they're playing a team that does not have Aaron Rodgers, and they have an aging Big Ben on the opposite side of the ball. They just need to score enough points to beat him, and I think they should be able to do that. So in the last game of the week, Monday Night Football, I am taking the Cleveland Browns.